Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video we finally get to take this thing down the road, make a little bit of boost. Definitely had a couple issues along the way, but y'all stay tuned. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate on this ugly looking exhaust. I mean, it's not ugly to me, but pretty sure everybody will have their opinion. White paint marker. Drew where I need to cut out on this. Get this thing off and cut a little bit more. Alright, we got the flange back on. So just keep that in mind if you ever do make your own exhaust for one of these. Definitely want to watch where these bolts are. Make sure you can always get them out if you need to. Right now what I'm going to do is go ahead and set this there where it's going to be pretty much welded up. And then kind of decide the position. And I'm going to mark a line so that I know that's the exact position. Trying to have the gap between this and the radiator hose roughly the same. It's better if it's a little closer to this than the hose. And now she's tacked on there. Now we need to take it off, go get this thing welded up. Still perfect clearance on that one to get it at least broke loose and everything, so that worked out. And then it just slides right off. Sitting here looking at this on the fitment, it actually looks pretty good as far as gaps. Get the rest of this thing welded up. Alright, we got this thing welded up. It's finally on there. I think it looks beautiful. It'll work for the time being. But let's hear this thing. That's the real question. What does it sound like? No, it ain't gonna be too much different. The fitment came out perfect. Still got plenty of room from my pipe. Plenty of room between the radiator. Let's hear this thing. Camera died last night. Figured I'd come out here and get a little glimpse of this thing. The exhaust looks pretty dope. A little above 40. I have to turn that down just a little bit. This thing is running good. I think that looks pretty good. We'll get this top piece cut down tomorrow. We'll try to make it match the other side over there. I think it'll look pretty good. Get this thing the rest of the way welded up though. Alright, by far not the best at welding, but I think I'm starting to get a little better. Of course, changing thicknesses a lot, welding on exhaust piping, and then welding on the cage of this XO, welding thick to thick and then thick to thin, like how I had to do on the plates. That is really the learn that I'm trying to figure out. Like I said, not the best welds. I know that they're going to hold, but Now I'm mainly just trying to work on making them look better. Alright, now that we got that all welded up, gonna stick it back on. Tomorrow I'll actually get on chopping this thing perfectly how I want it to be at the top. Yeah, for the time being, that looks pretty goofy. But like I said, I'm gonna chop it a little lower. Try to make it match the top of this one. But we'll do that tomorrow. Alright, got this thing in some better light. I'm gonna go ahead, try to draw me a line. Go ahead and chop that down. Start trying to make it be level with this one. Hopefully we can get that just right. I think that's about gonna be perfect. Might need to go down just a little lower, but let's get this end cleaned up a little bit. Let's see what we're working with. Alright, and now we got our dump tube. I don't think that looks too bad. Hopefully it'll be shooting flames out of both sometime. Well, it's starting to drizzle, and birds are making all kinds of noises now, but sounds good. Definitely gonna have to put some header wrap on this thing. Alright guys, get back out here. Ain't gonna lie, this part of the video has taken a minute. Been trying to get started on something else. I think what I'm gonna do, as you can kind of see, when I made the exhaust, as kind of a sweep over here to the right side. Did not want that. Well, anyways, about to take this exhaust off. Like I said, that one should be good. Cut down on this little part right here. Be good to go. Alright, exhaust is cut down perfect. Put back on. I do need to fix the top a little bit, but not too worried about that. Got to get this piping. Hopefully install that, and then we're gonna take this thing down the road finally. Got all this stuff undone. Was already mocking up a few things, and gonna have to figure out some bolts for the blow off. Also gotta let the camera charge, and I do have mics coming in soon, so better audio coming soon. Might be in this video, might not be, but been waiting on this piping forever. Let's get this stuff on there. Alright, everything's coming together pretty nicely. Got everything pretty much tightened and fitted on this side all the way over. And then right here, I'm gonna have to clock the turbo back just a tiny bit. Then I'm gonna have to cut this long one that I've got connected right now to the turbo. I have to draw a line, cut it, make sure that fits up real nice right there. And that'll pretty much be done. We'll have to make brackets for the bottom of this intercooler to hold it up. These are the last pieces that I need to actually get that done, but I do have 3 extra couplers, I think like 5 or 6 extra clamps. But another thing I need to assess is this jiggles, moves back and forth. I'm gonna try to put a gasket on there and see if that will help. Maybe, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to have a gasket, but I don't know. I didn't see one anywhere in the boxes anywhere. Might crank this thing up, see what it sounds like. Do need to run the vacuum line around, tee that in, but that's not even gonna work at all. Alright, got the blow off back off. Pretty sure there's supposed to be some kind of little seal that goes into that, so that whenever it's pressed against the blow off, it'll actually seal right there. Because this real janky and loose. I don't know if I have something though for that. We're gonna have to look around, figure that out. It looks like it might storm, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and clock this turbo back. Go ahead and draw my line, chop that down. I will have to eventually flare that end, because without it being flared, I doubt it's gonna hold long. But just for now, to get this all plumbed up, put on there, wouldn't be hard to take that back off, get it flared, put it back on. Let's get to that, so I can get that all actually mounted up. Maybe start looking at options on what I could do to make some brackets for the intercooler. Alright, getting a lot done out here. Done went, chopped my pipe, got everything all tightened up. Didn't need to tighten the bolts on the turbo, just remembered that. Did go ahead and get a gasket on here for now, just temporary, but that'll be good. Gotta run the vacuum hose over to the intake, get that teed in, make the brackets for this. I am gonna header wrap these exhausts. I've already got some here. It's one of the things that just came in not too long ago. Not sure if I'll do that today, but definitely want to get the vacuum ran. May start on these brackets tonight, maybe. Got the vacuum already teed up. Then of course, when I go get the bag for the tees, find the gasket I needed for that. So we'll be taking that back off, putting that gasket on. But now I think I'm gonna fire this thing up and see what that blow off sounds like. We'll let it warm up a little bit. One thing, gonna show that I ordered did get a whole bunch of extra tees. Mainly did want these extra little nipples. About to put one of those on the throttle body right now. Alright, turn this thing around. I have yet to hear the blow off. I even put it on the two-step, still nothing. So I guess I'm about to start mocking up some brackets to mount this thing on the bottom. Then we're gonna take this thing down the road. Hopefully hear it do something. Alright guys, it's been a minute, but started getting a lot of things done.
Yeah, that's crazy. Chirps. It went.
Let's take this thing and go get a little wash on her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's hitting the rev limiter sadly. Cops.
So far, everything going pretty good. And then I'm not sure if I am making more than 6 pounds right now because my speed sensor wasn't working, and then I switched it out yesterday, and now this plug doesn't want to clip onto the top no more, of course, so it won't stay on there to make a good enough connection. Yeah, I don't know, but since I have the two-step, whenever it gets up into the RPMs right at the two-step, it just pretty much starts hitting the two-step as I'm going, so I can't really get really into it once it gets to about 38 to 4,000. Also, if the picture looks a little bit different, it's because I'm filming on a different camera now. Let my buddy hold the other one last night when I took this thing out, and he drops it out the window and kills it. So no more recording on that phone. Luckily, I think I can save the footage that I do have on it. Might can put that part in where it falls out the window right here if I do have it. Did go ahead and order a different camera. It's pretty much one I can just pretty much stick on the window, try to do a little bit rolling shots with it or something.
Alright guys, been testing this thing out. I think what we're about to do is take this thing on a decently long drive, see how it does. So far everything's been going pretty decent, ain't had any problems. All of a sudden the battery light came on, lights got super dim. Very, very bad problem. The pulley has came off, and that is why battery light came on, because belt came off. Luckily it's still there, but if that bolt's not there, I have no clue, and it probably lost the pin and everything, so this is not ideal at all. Thing off, check everything. I really hope that the pin's there and it did not mess up the end of the crankshaft, because that is gonna be horrible. Alright guys, God is on our side, because the end of the crank looks fine and still have the pin. Got that put back together. It looks good. Should be good. We're gonna go down the road and test it out. Make sure that it's good to go. Head back to the house. Guys, we out here. It's running pretty good. At least nothing's bent. Everything looks still straight. Get this thing back to the house. Still running about 40. Alright, we was about to leave the parking lot, but check out this thing. This thing is beautiful. Love it. Alright, enough fooling around. Let's get this thing back to the house. Gonna have to evaluate that situation. Probably gonna stay out of the boost on the way back, just to be safe. But glad overall, it's doing pretty good. Glad we got to finally take this thing down the road. Next, I will be installing some more parts on this thing. I got an oil pressure gauge I need to do. Probably do that soon because I'm gonna do an oil change.